My name is Aaron Malloy, and this is my geologic timeline. So, I'll run through a brief description of the key. We have the scaling described here. I did add centimeters in there just to help with a little bit of clarification when looking at it, as well as our units of time, which is millions of years, and a description of the color scheme used to describe the eons, eras, and mass extinction events. So at the beginning of the timeline, we have when the Earth is formed, which was at 4.545, or approximately 4.6 billion years ago. It also starts the first eon, which is the Precambrian eon, and our first era, the Hadean era. At 4.4 billion years ago, we have the first rock formations. And at 3.8 billion years ago, we enter into the Archean era. 3.5 billion years ago sees the first signs of life. And 2.7 billion years ago, we have the first cellular nucleus. 2.4 billion years ago begins the Proterozoic era. And 2.3 billion years ago, we have oxygen accumulating in the atmosphere. 2.1 billion years ago, we have the first multicellular organisms, which carries us all the way to 530 million years ago, where the first fish emerge. 544 million years ago, we enter into the Phanerozoic eon and the Paleozoic era, as well as our first period, which is the Cambrian period. At 495 million years ago, we enter into the Ordovician period, and at 443 million years ago, we see the first life on land. 442 million years ago enters into the Silurian period, as well as sees our first mass extinction event between the Ordovician and Silurian time border. 416 million years ago, we enter into the Devonian time period, and at 354 million years ago, we enter into the Carboniferous period, which has both the Mississippian and the Pennsylvanian periods, and as also indicated, another mass extinction event on the Devonian and Carboniferous time border. 323 million years ago, we enter into the Pennsylvanian time period, as well as, 295 million years ago, we have the Permian time period, which takes us to 248 million years ago, which is the Triassic time period, and another mass extinction event on that border. 210 million years ago sees our very first signs of mammals, and at 205 million years ago, we have the Jurassic, beginning of the Jurassic period, as well as another mass extinction event. 144 million years ago, we see the Cretaceous period begin. And also, I forgot to mention, but at 248 million years ago, we did enter into a new era as well, which is known as the Mesozoic era. Back to where we were on the timeline, we have our final mass extinction event at 65 million years ago, which, as described on the label, is when the dinosaurs went extinct. We also see an end of the Mesozoic era and the beginning of the Cenozoic era, which kicks off with the Paleogene time period, which is the start of the Tertiary time periods. That carries us to 34 million years ago at the Neogene time period, which then kicks into the Quaternary period at 2.6 million years ago, and then also at 2.6 million years ago, we have the the ice sheet that periodically covered part of North America. The final piece of this is our epochs, which begin at 65 million years ago with the Paleocene epoch, and then at 55 million years ago the Eocene epoch, 34 million years ago the Oligocene epoch, 23 million years ago the Miocene epoch, 5 million years ago the Pliocene epoch, 2.6 million years ago the Pleistocene epoch, and 0.01 million years ago the Holocene epoch, all again within the Cenozoic time era.